Welcome, everybody, to the return of the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right. My name is Drake. I'm the Filthy Casual here. Joining me is...
I'm Cam. I'm Weeaboo Trash.
And I'm Josh, and I've spent way too much time playing Fire Emblem Fates.
That's good to know. So, we've got a very special episode for you guys. We're going to start off just talking about whatever the news of the week is, but then, in honor and celebration of 20 years, that's 12 times 2 is 24, 250 months of Pokemon.
250 months of being brainwashed by Pokemon.
Yeah.
We are going to have a special Pokemon episode of this podcast. So, where do you guys want to start off?
Well, first let's start with some gamer news. We have our normal meeting coming up at 7 p.m. tonight, and it is the 25th right now. We're going to be meeting right outside 307, so hopefully we can kick the people who are in there out of that room, because that's ours, damn it. That's ours!
That's our territory.
Besides that, on Friday we actually have an event we're co-sponsoring. If you might have seen flyers up around called NerdCon. We're going to be there playing some games and stuff. We're also working with Otaku. They have ASA there, English Club as well. So it should be an interesting time. Other than that, we don't have many events coming up this month. Everything we're doing is pretty much going to be in April, and we have a lot for April.
We've got HVZ coming up, which is, humans versus zombies. It's a huge thing. Everyone loves it. Who doesn't like to shoot at their friends with Nerf guns? Beyond that, we've got Game Night, which is always fun. Hoping to bring in even more of a turnout this year and raise even more money for charity. And then beyond that, we've got Endgame, which is only spoken of in hushed whispers amongst the underbelly of the gamer community. But,
still a secret and will remain so.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that eventually. You guys will know. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll know when we talk about Endgame.
So, the other day I went to Fantasyland.
Oh my god.
Bringing back the Fantasyland. No, so, with Pokemon, the first thing I guess I'll point out is that my place of employment got in the new Pokemon 3DSs, the faceplates, and they're cool.
So, what did you say they were like? You said they were like matte or whatever?
Yeah, so there's a big, thing going on right now with the new 3DS where it comes with faceplates. And this is the one that Nintendo greedily held from us and now is saying, here, peasants, take it.
Thanks, Nintendo.
And so there are two types of faceplates that you can get. Well, I mean, there's a ton of them. There's wood gray and there's felt ones. But the two main are glossy and matte. The felt one's cool. And a lot of people don't like the glossy, it'll scratch easier, get fingerprints. And so people were like, is it matte or is it glossy? Is it matte or is it glossy? The Pokemon 3DS faceplates are matte and they are wonderful.
That's good. Because glossy is pretty much hell.
Yeah.
In one form.
I got Smash plates on Amazon and those were pretty nice. Those were glossy.
Right now, I actually just picked up my 2DS. As you guys know, I struggled to find a used one, which apparently a lot of people don't return them for good reason. They're great.
Yeah. What model did you go for?
I just got the standard blue one. It's just a standard used blue 2DS.
How much did it cost you?
I want to say I paid maybe.
What's with
85.
that face, Drake?
I just saw the flyer for next week at Target.
Oh no.
How
A
much?
2DS with Mario Kart 7 is going to be $79.
So I would have saved $5 and gotten more.
I had to
Return it now.
Ah,
Go.
I actually had to betray our people because when I went to get a 2DS recently, I got one about 2 weeks ago on a whim. The only ones available were the Yokai Watch bundle. So I feel like a traitor, and I feel dirty. I took a shower after buying
You
it.
should feel dirty.
So
You supported Yokai.
I know, and I hate myself for it.
Did you redeem the code or was it preloaded?
Oh, it's preloaded, man. It's not even a physical.
But anyway, the point was, in saying that I got the 2DS, is I had a 3DS beforehand, and I returned it for the carpal tunnel reasons that I explained. But the gloss on it was so bad because it picks up so much grease and fingerprints, and it just gets so grimy and nasty. Yeah, they're so bad, and it's I wish Nintendo would just go back to having they have at the 2DS, having matte plastic.
But
I wish everybody would. Nobody should use glossy. It's horrible.
I'm picking mine up Saturday for the Pokemon 3DS. You guys will see it on the gamer meetings, and it is sweet. But there is one thing that a lot of people are worried about, which is that I guess with the regular size 3DS and even the XL, which I didn't even notice that mine had this issue. Ignorance is bliss. Until I actually heard about it and looked at it. I guess on 65% of 3DS screens, one of the screens is crooked to a degree.
What?
Yep.
Really?
You don't have to worry about that because you guys have the 2DS. And that's just one
I have
screen.
many DSs.
That's just
so I
one
also
screen.
have a new 3DS XL.
All right, I'm going to show you guys during the gamer meeting.
Okay.
But my 3DS has a slightly crooked screen. Like, it's not even noticeable.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
But I checked one of the not 2DSs, one of the new 3DSs, the Pokemon ones, and it did have a slightly crooked screen. So I was like, I'm just going to make sure not to get this one when I get mine. So, buyer beware. When you're buying a 3DS, it may have a crooked screen. Check it out first.
That would drive me crazy if I
Right?
noticed it.
Yeah, if I did. Man.
Especially if one of the screens is crooked and one of them isn't.
Oh, man. Whew. Don't want any of that.
So to tie back to Pokemon, this Saturday to be exact, in 48 hours, we will be able to relive the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
I mean, it's the 20th anniversary. This whole year, we have a bunch of Pokemon stuff coming out. It's a very important year for Pokemon.
It's huge.
It's
So,
a good time.
We're finally getting Pokken Tournament. I've
Yeah.
been waiting for that for it's been like a year now, right? Since it released?
Yes,
in
I
Japan?
actually got to
It
play
got
it. Well,
arcade.
yeah, it released earlier. Yes, I got to play it at the Pokemon World Championships. For
sweet.
The card
Really?
game.
Was it the Wii U or the...
Played it on the Wii U.
You
Yeah.
played Gardevoir, right? When you played?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
And it felt good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty as hell.
I mean, it was made by the Tekken.
Yeah, it's
developers,
Tekken.
correct?
But it looks so much better than Tekken ever
Yeah.
has too. If you go back and watch,
If you guys look at the Japanese translation,
Oh, that's
it's
right,
just
we
called
looked-
Pokemon Tekken.
That's
We saw that,
we
right?
looked up,
That's
yeah.
right, because we were...
trying to hunt down an import version of the Pokemon 2DSs because they have these nice ones that have translucence, just like the Game Boy Advance did.
Yep.
And we were trying to buy them, but they only came to Japan and Europe. So we spent about 2 hours.
We spent a decent amount of time. That was fun.
Game.co.uk, different European GameStop sites.
Cam made
trying
an
to
Amazon
import this
Japan
thing.
account.
Yes, and it's very useful.
Have you gotten some awkward things?
I have, definitely. Always the awkward things.
Back to the re-releases Red, Blue, and Yellow, I figure the first question of discussion should be, I plan on playing through all of them to catch them all, because this is the one time I'm going to be able to catch them all, because you physically can't get anything past Mew. So, I'm starting with Red. Which game do you guys plan on starting with?
Probably Blue, since it was my first one.
Yep.
This is actually funny because
Yellow?
I'm not a fan of Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh.
Get out.
I don't just no. Here,
All
let
right.
me explain. Let me
It just
explain.
means Josh is a bad opinion. It's fine.
No, all right. So let me explain. I don't dislike them, but I'm at the point where for a Pokemon game, I want to have as much variance as I can. And it's like I never played Red and Blue when I was younger, so I don't think I hold the nostalgia that a lot of people do. Yeah, so I don't hold nostalgia. So when I look at it, it's a Pokemon game with 150 Pokemon, and it's like the newer ones. I don't know. It's just like it seems like I think I hold more fond memories of Gen 3. That's like when they remade
with
Omega
your
Ruby
age
and
group,
Sapphire.
yeah.
Huh?
That's with your age group, right?
Yeah. So when that was the one that I was old enough to play when it came out. So Red and Blue, it's cool. I totally respect the history behind it and the fact that a ton of people love it, and I don't look down. Like I don't have any negative opinions towards it. It's just not my big thing. My big thing was Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Now I always get screwed up on our ages within the group. Now I know. How old are you, Drake?
I am 19.
Oh, you are 19. You're also 19. Oh, so you guys.
But I actually did start out with Yellow? Either Yellow or Silver.
Good man.
But
Yeah, because I'm older, so.
my personal thing with this is that I am actually really looking forward to these because I actually do want to just have the original 151 just for the sake of catching them all. But also, I'm really happy that this is one of those things. This is before all the stats they introduced in Ruby and Sapphire onwards. This is before IV training, EV training, egg moves, all that stuff. I would love to just be able to put a Clefairy into my party because Clefairy is cute and just be like, fuck shit up, Clefairy.
You can do stuff with that, yeah.
So that's why I'm looking forward to Red Blue because I really want to have just a very casual Pokemon experience.
Not to say Red Blue has its share of very broken mechanics.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people
And
are
that's the
familiar
best.
with the fact that Machamp and Hyper Beam.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Mewtwo is pretty much a game break to reward you for beating it.
Miltank Rollout is pretty messed up.
Well, that's not in.
That's
that's
Gen 2.
not Blue Red because that's not Gen 1. That's Gen 2.
Oh, Gen 2, right?
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm a little older, 21, but when actually on my 4th birthday, my birthday's in October, so Pokemon Red and Blue came out right around my 4th birthday, and that was my present. I got a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Blue. And I played it a ton. I've played Pokemon games ever since. Like I said, brainwashed for 20 years now.
Yep.
And it is brainwashing because, like, if I were to evaluate them from the outside perspective...
Catch 'em all.
Right. Because I have a friend, Sam, who's a collector as well. And if we're to evaluate them from an outside perspective, the games are 2 separate games that have similar things for the same price. It's a practice that
They're
I'm
the
sure
exact
we would
same
hate.
game, but with different.
Right.
Yeah.
A practice I'm sure objectively we shouldn't like. And they keep on releasing what are basically rehashes. They include very little mechanics. Like we talk about how exciting it is to finally have trainer customization this far down the line.
Yeah,
and
like
they took it away from
17
us. And we're
years
just eating
later.
that up. We're brainwashed, and we need to accept that. And I'm totally fine with that. It's like what I said before about Pokemon Go, where I hate microtransactions.
Oh,
but
me
if
too.
Go has microtransactions, I will eat that crap.
I was making a joke. I saw Star Wars 4 times, and I've seen Deadpool twice. I am so freaking sick of the Independence Day 2 trailer and the Warcraft trailer. So sick of those two trailers.
I feel the same way, 'cause I've seen
I'll
Deadpool
see Civil
twice,
War
too.
trailer as much as I want, but I was saying with those two trailers, with the Warcraft one, I bet you anything that when that movie comes out, you get to the third act and you have to give Blizzard $1.50 to continue.
Yeah, probably.
Because, they would put microtransactions into movies.
True.
Everybody in the audience has to just, they come around with the donation bucket that they usually use for, the Jimmy Fund.
Yeah.
And they just make it drop
But
$1.50.
from somebody who lived it, one of the big best parts about Red and Blue was that the environment around it back at the time it came out. I mean, I was deep in that, and it was really a cultural
And it was deep in you.
experience.
Yeah.
It took over the world. Everybody was doing it. The cards were even in gas stations.
Yep.
I mean, you could find the cards everywhere.
That's
Everyone was playing. Everyone was trading. It'd get banned in schools because how
Yeah.
popular it was. Things like that.
That's
It was a
cool.
great time.
My school actually never banned, you couldn't have a Game Boy out, but they didn't ban Game Boys. What they banned were the little Pokeball keychains. You guys remember those?
Oh.
You click the button, it's a spring-loaded Pokeball, and you have, Gengar or something on
yeah.
the inside, or Meowth. I had too many of those.
I remember my school banned Yu-Gi-Oh cards because they thought we were gambling.
I mean, we were gambling with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so
Oh, I mean, fair.
back then, I remember that too. They didn't ban it
That's
for us,
okay.
but we were gambling with them. But Red and Blue, part of it was the cultural. I mean, I think that
that's a huge
superiority-wise,
aspect
I am
of
a
it.
big fan of Gen 3. I don't hate any gens because I find I've loved the series for so long, and I've played practically every main series game and spin-off game that I find something to love about each gen. Because sometimes they correspond with, personal experiences with me.
Yeah.
Certain times in my life, I was playing this Pokemon game, and I never stop. Despite what I'm playing, I'm always having a Pokemon game going.
Cam lost his virginity to Diamond
It's
and Pearl.
true. It's true.
Your first kiss was Ruby and Sapphire?
One of my best friends, I completely met. We rekindled our friendship over Diamond and Pearl. When
Nice.
And it's just things like that. I spent a lot of time with these games, and I really appreciate them.
I
But
have
I think Gen 2 and 3, they get better. They get better.
I have a naughty confession to make.
Yes.
Well, not a naughty confession.
too
I skipped Gen 5.
Really? That's
Yep,
Gen
because
5 was black, white, and
Yep.
I also skipped Gen 5.
see, what happened with me was I was an early adopter for the 3DS. And so what I figured was that they were going to pull a gold, silver, crystal, which was, with black and white, you could play them on the DS and the 3DS, but it looked like shit on the 3DS. I figured they were going to make Pokemon Gray new 3DS exclusive, like they did with Crystal, where you could play Gold and Silver on the Game Boy or Game Boy
they
Color.
patented and never used?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is one for Nintendo that they always do. So I figured they're going to make Pokemon Gray, and I'm going to get that one. I'm going to get the definitive one for my 3DS.
Too bad.
And then Black and White 2, respectively, came out. And I was like, well, next time. With the one tear rolling down.
Yep. What I will say about Gen 5 is a lot of people feel it was weak. I don't necessarily agree, but again, at the time, it was a personal experience thing. Gen 5 and the hype leading up to Gen 5 was when I was most involved with Pokemon.
I would say Gen 4 had the most hype, because Gen
No,
5,
sorry,
I
what
felt
I
no
meant
hype.
was when I was in the hype.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
because where I was, the things I was doing, I was actually in a Pokemon RP at the time, because I'm an RPing loser. I was in a Pokemon RP at the time that I was in for 4 years, and I remember we were playing at the end, we started at the end of Gen 4, doing the RP and stuff, and then Gen 5 started coming out, and there was all this speculation. We started using, in the roleplay, the Japanese, the Pokemon, before we even had translations for their name. It was so fun, and so I appreciate Gen 5 for that reason, because I spent a lot of my life on Gen 5, but as games themselves, there's some stuff to be desired. It definitely feels almost less Pokemon-y in a way. I don't know if I can even quantify or qualify that. It just kind of feels that way to me. That being said, Gen 6 had a huge revival of interest, and that's across the board. I mean, I walk into card shops where I play the card game, and they always tell me that right around Gen 6's start, even the cards picked up again.
Yep. I mean, Gen 6 is when I got back into it, because Gen 6, I've looked back on Gen 5, I haven't played it yet, but you're right, it didn't feel like Pokemon, for me at least. The designs all felt almost like fan art.
Yeah, I felt a lot of... That's my problem with Gen 5, is I played Gen 5, and so much, I remember looking at it and,
Even the starters.
Because I was still playing Gen 4 at that point, I was still into it. And Gen 5 actually killed my interest for the duration of Black and Black 2's run. And it got rekindled with Gen 6. But my problem was, I was looking at the designs of like the Gen 5 Pokemon, and I was like, these all look like fake Mon.
Yeah.
This looks like a fan game that's not even well made. Like, Sage looks like more of an official Pokemon game to me than Black and White do. Black and White look like fan games, while Sage looks like an actual genuine Pokemon game.
I will say I've only played Black and White 2 3 times, and that's a little, like very
Fair
little
enough.
for me. I usually
Fair
play each cartridge 5 times, so very little for me. So the choice to go for the sequel to hurt Gen 5 because it was a very short gen. Gen 5 was one of the actually might be the shortest gen. I'm not sure about
They
that.
only introduced like not even 100 new Pokemon.
I mean,
with that,
shortest
right?
in timeline, but yeah, they're
That as well.
I liked not having access to the older Pokemon until after the Elite Four because I like being forced to use the newer Pokemon, but that's like an outsider opinion almost. But it suffered from the Black White 2 problem, and some people consider it a problem, some people don't. But the fact that they released these other games as sequels and they added plot, yes, but they added like a couple new areas. And I mean, we get the third polished version, but a lot of times people will wait and only get the polished version.
Yep.
Now we have 2 whole other games with different story. And they were set in the same region with only minor differences. So I think that really hurt Gen 5.
Yeah.
I mean-
No, go ahead.
I was that's what turned me away from it, is that I was going to get the third version, assuming it was going to be that definitive Emerald, Platinum, Crystal thing, and it didn't happen. But will it happen again? We'll get to that in a minute.
Yes, we'll get to the
'Cause
recent storm of rumors.
I was planning for a few weeks to do a Pokemon-themed podcast, and so I was ready to do this, and then I go on my phone this morning, and I see some news. You guys want to just jump into it?
Yeah, it's nice to wake up to, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
So-
can we open this with our ideas for the league and then go right into what actually
Okay,
happened?
yes, let's do that. So I don't know if
Alright.
we revealed it on the podcast before, but in the past we joked about doing a Pokemon Go league when Pokemon Go comes out.
Yeah, so how it worked was me and Cam here were sitting around and we were like, hey, when Pokemon Go comes out, like, first of all, it's going to take over our lives. I'm going to actually be a Pokemon
Yeah,
trainer.
we might drop out.
Every way I
We
actually
might drop
can.
out that semester.
Yeah,
Who knows?
go on a Pokemon adventure,
No one would blame you.
So what we were saying is, like, what if we made a gym and what if we made a league? And we were going further, we were like, all right, so if there's going to be a league and we want to make this an actual thing, we need to have an enemy team.
Right.
We need to have, like, a
Team
team.
Rocket
Yeah, like
type.
a Team Rocket kind of stand-in, like there always is. There's, like, Team Plasma, stuff like that.
Team Magma.
Team Magma, Team Aqua, stuff like that. So we were like, all right.
Neo Team Rocket, for all you people who know a lot about Pokemon out there. Whoa.
The Mafia.
Yeah, so me and Cam were sitting there, we were like, all right, what theme should we go with for our villain team? And I was like, what if we do space?
Yeah.
And then we were like, all right, so there's always, like, we wanted to go with the 2-team idea again, like Aqua and Magma. We were like, all right, so then if we're doing space, we need opposing forces, Team Lunar, Team Solar.
Right. So we're like, all right, cool. Lunar and Solar, and this is for the gamer. This is for Gamer Club.
Yeah,
we want
this
to make
was,
a league.
we were going to basically have, like, me and Cam were going to be admins of Team Lunar. We were going to find people to be admins of Team Solar. We're still going to do this,
Yeah, we're still
probably.
gonna do it.
It's just, it's going to seem much less original now.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, like, we had this idea, and I was like, like, we could be, like, we can name all our admins after, like, moons of planets and stuff. It was great. We had this all thought out.
We had Deimos and Phobos.
Yeah, Deimos and Phobos, which are 2 moons, twin moons for a planet. I can't remember which planet off the top of my head. I remember the names being cool.
Endor.
That's why we went with it. And we even had, like, Team Lunar's obvious Pokemon would be Solrock, and Team Lunar would be Lunatone.
Right.
We were like, this would be awesome. Like, it all works. Like, why haven't they done this yet? And lo and behold,
This
we made
morning-
it this morning.
So, for those of you uninformed, today was leaked the very strong confirmation of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Yes.
Now, these were trademarks that were filed, but what makes this different from Pokemon Gray or Delta Emerald, trademarks that had been filed but never used, is that these had logos. These were
Yes.
very professionally designed, not fan art. These were actual logos.
And that's the thing that struck me too, because we
Yep.
do get a lot of
Very-
trademarks.
yeah.
And we saw that earlier. Sometimes they'll trademark things to be used as real games down the line. It'll be code names. Like there was Brown was used as well, and so was Amethyst in the
Yep.
past.
Yep.
And like you said, Gray. But this time we actually have full logos. And I believe it was a European. It was a European trademark. It
Was it?
wasn't the Japanese trademark. It was the European trademark because we had it in English.
Yep.
And now we're going to get into this whole storm of what is Pokemon Sun and Moon. I mean, we're approaching the actual 20th anniversary, which is 2 days from now.
Yep, and in 24 hours we'll know.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
beyond that, another thing that lends legitimacy to the whole thing is that these trademarks are being revealed or leaked on the advent of a Pokemon Direct coming out
Yes,
tomorrow.
there's a Pokemon Direct announced for tomorrow morning. I believe it's 10 a.m. our time, EST.
It's a 5-minute
Right.
direct too. So Nintendo has a habit of excuse me, I just hiccuped. Nintendo has a habit of short and sweet or long and drawn out.
Yes.
So let's take the the announcement of X and Y, which was Pika! Holy shit, new stuff.
Right, right.
Pokemon!
I was going to say, you don't do a Pokemon Direct that short without announcing something.
Yep. Now let's compare that to Nintendo's E3, which was very well designed Muppets and anime filler. And a Mario Maker thing at the end. That was it.
Yeah. Nintendo's E3 is a separate topic. I believe that it was done as a necessity because they didn't want to reveal any NX stuff.
Yeah, they can't not go.
And they
with their
focused
Nintendo.
They focused their attention on NX. That's
Yeah.
my theory. But and in addition to the Sun and Moon thing, just a few days ago, maybe even a week ago,
Rainbow.
there were rumors about Rainbow, and there was a leak on NeoGAF. Now, for those of you not familiar, NeoGAF's a gaming forum, among other things.
Yep.
And to leak on there, they actually verify you, that you are a source to be trusted.
They know their goof.
So I'm pretty sure they verified this guy was somebody who worked for Nintendo of America marketing division, and what he outlined was it was basically a flyer that he outlined of the various marketing budgets and upcoming plans for the Wii U, NX, and 3DS.
Yep, like Zelda is actually going to be a dual
Right.
release like
Which
Twilight
I
Princess.
totally thought was
Yeah,
gonna
calling
happen.
it forever.
Yeah,
We've been
I'll buy
calling
both. I'll spend $160 on fucking
And
Zelda.
then they were talking about like marketing budget for the NX. There's a lot of boring stuff because it's more realistic to have a leak when there's boring stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be like everything you ever wanted. But they talked about, there's a few code names in there. There's a few other games coming out.
There's a Wii U Paper Mario.
Right. Wait, no, hold on. Was that in there? I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
see
going to be
that.
like the last Wii U game.
I didn't see that.
The last Nintendo developed Wii U game is Paper Mario.
Whoa, I didn't see that in that flyer. Oh my god, I'll cry. I want that so bad.
You pumped?
I've wanted that forever.
What do
A
you
console Paper Mario that isn't bad, that's like Thousand Year Door in the original N64, that's been like my number one call for Nintendo for years. Like for the past 2 years, I've been like, please Nintendo, give me this on the Wii U.
Hey man, at least they'll realize you're a dream. I'm still rooting for Waluigi to be added to the Smash rosters.
Hey, we don't know. Maybe it's the Paper Wario Waluigi.
Paper Wario Waluigi.
Yeah,
I will be honest, Nintendo has been fully satisfying my needs. Twilight Princess HD happens. I actually, you know what? I kind of would have preferred a 3DS Twilight Princess just to take advantage of the new 3DS, like have it be new 3DS only.
I almost wonder, that might be... It might be too hard in the new 3DS. I don't know if it can
I
handle
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
I
they
mean,
they
it's
ported
fun.
Xenoblade, and that was a Wii game.
Yeah, they did. Maybe.
I mean, it's not going to happen, obviously, but I would have preferred that. But I'm
Well,
not complaining.
going
Twilight
back
Princess
to the,
remake. Yeah.
Going back to the topic at hand,
Yeah.
when they released that, there was a very clear Pokemon Rainbow right on the list for 3DS. And
For 3DS or for NX?
I think it was for 3DS.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Was
I think it was. I think
not
it
given a
was
console?
3DS.
Or was it not given any console? It was just on its own.
I think it wasn't given a console specifically, but every grouping that I saw, because he did 2 reveals.
Yeah.
He did a Wii U reveal and then a 3DS
Okay.
reveal. He revealed it with the 3DS, so that I think led a lot of us to assume. I think the Rainbow.
Hey, if it's a Wii U,
Yeah, I personally think Rainbow.
NX.
Yeah, it would, if it were to be a console, it would be NX.
But overall, before we get into details, what we will say is with the Rainbow,
Yep.
with the Sun and Moon, with the Direct, something is happening.
Yep.
We're getting something. It's more than rumors at this point. This is very substantiated. So something is happening tomorrow morning.
What I want to ask is, Rainbow was on that list. Were Sun and Moon on that list?
No,
So
I
we're
think.
faced with 2 possibilities.
Yep.
Either Rainbow could be the working code name for Sun and Moon, or Rainbow is its own thing and they just didn't bother to put them on there.
Yeah.
So we could be only getting one thing, which is Sun and Moon, or we could be getting that plus whatever Rainbow is.
I think Rainbow.
I would cry if it was that because Rainbow. It's been a while since we've had a console Pokemon RPG.
I was going to say that.
Last
With,
one was Coliseum, right?
no, Battle Revolution. Well,
XD.
I just wanted. XD was great.
Coliseum was the last one that was actually like a Pokemon
Yeah,
game, though, right?
I really
XD
wanted.
was-
Yeah.
The Wii U is such a missed opportunity in this regard that I really wanted
Snap 2? Is that where you're going?
Snap 2, definitely. But Stadium, Coliseum,
Yeah.
Battle Revolution style game. This is their first HD console.
If you're listening to our pitiful podcast,
Which you're not.
Please, just give me a Stadium 3. And I know there's 3 of them in Japan. I know that.
There
you
is?
Can call it yes, you can call it Stadium 3 here, and you can do all the Pokemon. It's what we want. It's really what we want. Yeah, because in Japan they released...
With what generation?
It was earlier, actually.
Oh, okay.
The first one they released in Japan, Stadium, didn't have all 150.
Oh,
the one
okay.
we got first is their second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's negligible.
Kind of like how their red and green were actually kind of proto versions of our red and blue.
Yeah.
Their blue is our red and
And they
blue.
still couldn't give us green. We had to get blue.
That's fine. That's fine.
Nah, Venusaur's cooler.
Yeah, I did import green, but yeah, so we got something coming tomorrow, and it's a great time. I mean, this year is so fun for Pokemon, and I'm sure we have even more surprises down the line.
Yeah.
My wallet's going to cry.
Yeah, exactly.
My wallet's actually ready.
It's already getting misty.
What I want to ask,
Puns.
I just totally spiked the audio.
That's fine. It was good.
So what I want to ask is, we're getting into now. We're kind of past the window of them to do a Z version, aren't we?
No, not necessarily.
You don't think so?
I think
There's
Sun...
going to be a big debate over whether this is 6.5 or 7.
I think we can get into our theories. I personally
Yes.
think that Sun and Moon are going to be kind of a hybrid thing where it's it's going to be X and Y too, but also maybe have a big post game regarding Zygarde. That's what I think.
I'm starting to. I mean, this has just come out, so the theories are new.
Literally, all we have to go by is name and logo.
But
That's
there's,
it.
There's a Southern Kalos theory that I really like, that I just saw actually while I was totally wasting time in class and not paying attention.
Yeah.
And I showed it to Josh. And the theory basically suggested that, I mean, here's the facts of the matter. We had a new Pokemon released, which we haven't talked about yet. I'm forgetting the name.
Magirnia?
Or
It was
whatever.
Magiana, and then for
Magiana,
the translation, and that's
Magir.
Magirna.
So we have that. We have Volcanion, who hasn't been announced yet. Or
But,
he has been,
well,
but not officially in the game.
Here's the interesting thing. Volcanion was found, like every other Pokemon's found, in the coding of the game.
Yeah, it was
Magirna
announced.
was not, so that led a lot of people to think Gen 7's on the way. But
I mean, even Cerebi has Magirna filed under Gen 7 Pokemon.
here's what I think, because the way technology is now, this could be the first patched-in Pokemon.
That could
Where it's
happen,
it's not in the coding for the game. They can just patch it in.
Maybe Nintendo finally wised up and it's
Yeah.
hey,
Start
we're just
doing
gonna
modern
data mine the
things,
game.
But we have very many moves missing. I mean, Zygarde's perfect form is absent. Ash Greninja is absent.
Yep.
And all these things are being hyped up in the anime. I mean, the anime right now is called X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So you have this big Z thing going on. Zygarde's on the poster for everything. His movie's coming out. So I don't think they're going to 7.
Yeah.
If they were going to 7, we would see a Gen 7 Pokemon in that Zygarde movie, which I don't think we have. It may be something. It may be one of the myths.
What's coming after the Zygarde movie? The Volcanion movie? Or is that
No,
already
that's
come out?
no.
They're
Actually,
teasing
wait,
that, right?
Wait, no, you're right. I think Volcanion movie is after
Zygarde, yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
So, in that case-
I just watched a couple nights ago. I just watched the Hoopa one.
Okay.
Actually, last night.
I haven't seen anything since Manaphy.
Super good. We'll talk about that one later. But,
Yeah. We'll get into the Pokemon movies after this.
But what I think is happening is, I mean, in X and Y, there's a place you can go. Well, first of all, the Kilowood City was in Southern Kalos. I believe that's where the what is it called here? Friend Park, or not Friend Park?
Friends of Horror.
Friend Safari is. And it's a place in Southern Kalos.
It's the post game.
Yeah, there's nothing linked to it. And somebody, I don't know if it's there or somebody else in the game, makes a comment about Volcanion. And I don't know where this is from, but I've seen it in game, where they basically say in Southern Kalos they worship Volcanion because they believe he created the plains from what Southern Kalos used to be. Now, if you take Kalos and frame it over France, it fits pretty much perfectly because it is France. There's a big southern portion missing.
Guys, I just thought of something.
What?
So, I don't know why I just thought of this, but this makes so much sense. Pokemon Sun, it's going to be, imagine X and Y 2, X and Y 6.5, whatever. Sun, Volcanion, Moon, Magirna.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, she's kind of shaped a bit like...
Dance, you right?
Well, I almost want to make everyone's been making comparisons to Kaguya, which is Japanese rabbit moon god.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it looks a bit like that in some regards.
She made jutsu in Naruto.
So,
yeah, that's not, I'm talking about the real Kaguya.
I know.
But
yes. That would make a ton of sense, though, if Volcanion was the Sun flagship Pokemon,
Yeah, I can
and
see
Magirna was the Moon.
But with all those Southern Kalos comments and the fact that it's it's left open and it fits over it perfectly, plus timeline-wise, if we look about the timeline, we did skip a year, which doesn't happen too often. But we had our remakes, So usually it's supposed to be that we get the perfect version of the game, and then we get next year the next gen.
Yep.
Now, Gen 4 was the longest, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And we've skipped a year now. So if this happens and 7 comes out, that next year it'll be the same as Gen 4.
Yeah.
Because Gen 5 was short because of reasons.
Yeah, because nobody bought them.
So I think it's going to be 6.5. I mean, there was a leaked Pokedex for a 7 that people were contentious about. Yes, there was one. I don't think the leak wasn't as verified as the Rainbow one, but they were looking at.
Now, by Pokedex, you mean like in game or like one of like the Mattel or the Jack specific toy Pokedex?
We had names. We had types, and
Did we have any sprites or anything?
No.
Oh.
But there were names, types, and then concepts for like what each one was and
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be 7. I think we're getting something 6 still. That's my call, and I'll stick to that. Now, if we do get 7, I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we talked about like our worst nightmare, which was as cool as Pokemon Go is going to be if Pokemon Go was the 7th gen game.
That would be awful.
That would be okay.
Because I am looking forward to the concept of Pokemon Go, but what we all have to understand is that the execution is going to be, we're actually going to have to get up and run around and just go fling your arms around.
Executing that correctly is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very
difficult. That's my reservation on Pokemon Go is that just AR in general is very shaky. Mm-hmm. So I am cautiously optimistic for it, but I can't say that I'm very hyped for Pokemon Go.
I'm very hyped, but we also haven't seen much.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we have not seen any gameplay footage. That trailer that we saw was all mock-up concept stuff. We have not seen anything regarding the UI.
I wish it was a longer direct because that would mean that we were seeing gameplay footage almost definitely. But on the topic of that, like, just on Go, I recently picked up Ingress, which is the game that I picked up. I downloaded it. It's
the studio that
it's the same people who are working on it, and Ingress is a solid game for an AR game. If you
it?
played it, the tech all works, and it's all there, and it's all solid. It's cool. So, I mean, if they're working with that kind of technology, that's why I'm so ready for Ghost, because looking at the Ingress tech, I can see exactly where they're going with it, and it looks like interesting, and like it could most likely work.
Nice. But back to the 6.5 thing. Also, this is kind of like funny anecdotal stuff. Kind of, but if you look at Zygarde Perfect Form, he has 4 gems on his chest.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You saw
the
that?
Colors, because X and Y
colors are
red and
represented right there. The same hue, too, are represented. And the logos for Sun and Moon fit the other two.
Yep, so that would make a ton of sense. Because Game Freak is surprisingly lore building when it comes to not even their games itself, but just the hype leading to them. Because you play Pokemon games, and it's like the story literally is, I want to take over the world. No, Pokemon are friends. No, Pokemon are tools. No, Pokemon are friends. Okay, they're friends.
Or Pokemon are too much friends.
And then
we should release
them. Or you kill, or he never gets around to Pokemon are friends and you just kill him.
Yeah.
Literally. but that is the story of Pokemon. All of the Pokemon lore and hype comes from like us analyzing every little thing. Like every little Pokedex entry that says Darkrai uses souls. Something that you never actually see, but it's just like we latch onto that stuff. So I think that's what makes Pokemon so much fun, is just analyzing every little detail that we get before a game comes out.
I think Sun and Moon, if the Sun and Moon isn't a code name, and they do have logos, so I doubt it is.
I think it's definitely a finished title.
I don't think it's a smart choice for 6.5.
No?
Because those are great names. Like, I would have loved that for 7, and it would have been a great concept, too, for 7.
Now,
so if they wasted on 6.5, I'll be a little...
So who says... Well, we also had the theory that, like, all this stuff for Z... First of all, they made the anime XYZ before XYZ was even a thing.
Yeah.
And, like, we talked about this... It's a shaky theory. It's just an idea that I had. But what if, like, the actual perfect title is the anime crossover? And it's like we don't get a game for it. It's just the story of what would have been Z is told through the anime.
It could also be...
And we just get the event Pokemon, like, as event Pokemon that you can download, like, at GameStops or whatever. And then Sun and Moon is Gen 7. It's like basically, like, it keeps talking about the Zygarde, Nash's, Greninja, and stuff, which have all shown up in Z. Mm-hmm. And, like, the story of the game that would have been Z could just be told through the anime. Like I said, you get the Pokemon through events, like Wi-Fi codes and stuff. And then Sun and Moon comes out, and it's Gen 7, and they don't do a perfect title for this gen.
I don't think we're going to get any new event Pokemon this year because they're already distributing every previous event Pokemon. So I think that would just be oversaturating the event Pokemon. Like, I just got Mew.
Wait, they've also distributing all of them? Frequency are they going to distribute my Mew? And my Celebi back in, like, Gold and Silver? All of them?
Yeah.
Wait, really? Oh, I was joking.
Oh, you mean yours?
No, what I meant was, like, are they going to go as far back as, like, distributing what they did back when, like, Red and Blue and, like, Gold and Silver were
like you bring in your old school Game Boy?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Oh my god, I'd die.
I want to know, see, kind of circling back around to Event Pokemon and Mew and the Red and Blue re-releases, I want to see how you're going to be able to complete your Pokedex, because if they do patch the Mew glitch, which the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I get my new 3DS is attempt the Mew glitch. If they have patched that, I'm wondering how it will be possible to complete your Pokedex in those.
I'll cry if they patch that.
Unless they do some sort of event thing where it's like you just said, you bring in your DS and they give you Mew.
I'm sure if they patch it, they're not gonna make a game where you can't complete the Pokedex. If they patch out the Mew glitch, they're gonna give you some way to get it.
I was just thinking too, just back to earlier, Z could always just be an episode Delta type thing at the end of the game.
That's a good
It
point.
could be an episode Z.
Yeah.
Something
It
like
could
that.
be.
Yeah.
I would like Sun and Moon to be Gen 7.
I think
I'm
like
ready
to,
for Gen
I mean,
7.
hey, listen. There's always the possibility that it is Gen 7,
Yeah.
and they're patenting it now, and it's coming out after something that's being announced tomorrow.
Yeah.
We could be getting 2 games.
I have an idea. that we could process a little bit. Cam, TCG dude.
Yes.
How many expansions did Diamond and Pearl and Black and White have respectively?
Okay. I think
Just by number.
that's hard to memorize. I think that Black and White had 12. I
And-
want to say there were 12 Black and White expansions, and Diamond and Pearl 10 or 11.
How many
I'm
have
not certain on that.
How many have X and Y had so far?
You know, we're on 10.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, so we are
Because
getting
10 was
close.
released in Japan, or will be released in Japan pretty soon.
Break.
It's Psychic. I don't even know if it's Break. Hold
Break
on.
Out,
it was
maybe?
Psychic. It was like Psychic King or something in Japan.
Okay, so they're kind of going away from the break titles.
They might have been a break. Hold on. Let me see if I can just look that up to fact check that really quick.
If they're going to do another break, they have to do break out if they're going to do another break.
Break out. I mean, you know what?
Breakthrough,
the
break point,
sets
break
have
out.
been great. I really like Breakpoint. The art on Breakpoint is extremely on point.
I haven't gotten too many break points. I really like Breakthrough though, which is I love Mewtwo.
Breakpoint's probably one of my most recent favorites.
Mew and Mewtwo are my two favorite
so yeah,
Pokemon.
Japan's XY10 set, Awakening of Psychic Kings.
That's going to be translated pretty roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the names are always way cooler.
Yep.
The last set was like Roar of the Broken
Yeah, Rage
Heavens.
of the Broken Skies.
Rage of the Broken Skies, something like that. It was really cool.
Well, but I mean, like in
And I'm actually pretty sure this has Zygarde in it. This coming set, the 10.
That'd be cool.
At the same idea though, those in Japanese, those are like 2 kanjis. Where in here you have to type out the entire thing.
Actually,
so.
they're saying right here that since Zygarde won't be the mascot for XY10, the set, seems we're not going to get a game featuring him in the spring.
That's a good point.
Is what they said right here.
That's a very good point. Because they do that.
Like I said, I love Gen 6. You know how I am. Gen 6 is my favorite gen, actually.
Really?
Because it
It's
brought me
good.
back. It brought me back. It was such a solid gen. The
Yes.
designs are all great. I don't really
Yep.
think there's any trash tier designs.
The one
in
thing
6,
the thing I like the most about Gen 6, and the thing I always talk about, is the fact that Gen 6 almost intentionally made it so that some of the rarer to find Pokemon were common in grass areas. And
Yeah,
there's a
Pikachu
huge
comes up
variety.
immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Bagon.
Yep.
Bagon, I could catch a Bagon and an Absol pretty early
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that.
I
This is
like
a huge variety of Pokemon.
because Gen
in
6,
grass.
that's the thing is it was a Gen 6 game, but going back to Gen 1 and onward, it was such a good mix of all the generations of Pokemon available
Yeah.
everywhere.
Also,
And,
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire's, I think it's the Dex Nav feature. We can search for the
That was
Pokemon
cool.
with their
Yep.
abilities. I
That was
super
cool.
like that.
Pokemon X is my favorite Pokemon game. It was great. I even played Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and I still like Dex more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, most people don't like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
I loved it.
Or a lot of people I talk to don't, at least.
Fair enough. There was too much
They're mad
water.
about Battle Frontier. I mean, as am I.
Oh yeah. There was too much water. Stupid internet jokes.
But yeah, it's just I love Gen 6, but I am totally ready for 100 or so new designs and a new gen. That'd be great.
One thing I want them to release a good number of Pokemon this time.
Yeah.
You know,
6
we
had
need
a
more.
good addition, but it could use more.
Yeah, we need more, and I don't want them all to be megas.
Yeah.
I'm fine with more megas. I've come around to the idea of megas, especially how they handle it in the anime. I've come around to the idea.
Yep.
But I don't want all megas. I don't want megas as new Pokemon.
Yeah.
Being advertised as new Pokemon.
Did we ever talk about the whole thing? My main problem with X and Y is that in the generation that introduced Mega Pokemon, you didn't make that generation's starters able to Mega evolve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's dumb. That's a dumb decision.
That's because 6 was a smart decision, because what they did do was Gen 1. Because remember,
They
6
appealed to
brought
nostalgia.
back a lot of people with the
Yeah.
card game, the game, and all that. So by appealing to nostalgia and letting you get the starters from Gen 1, I think that was
I
a
think they
smart
could
move.
have done both.
You know,
They could, yeah.
actually, to bring up the Mega thing, I just recently binged on Hulu the Pokemon Origins anime series,
Really good series.
which I liked a lot of the throwbacks to Red and Blue. And spoiler alert, this will spoil the ending, so spoilers. It's so like ingrained in the red and blue. Like it completely it's its own universe. It's a whole kind of soft reboot, redoes everything that like the Pokemon don't even say their own names.
Yeah,
they make
more like Pokemon Adventures.
Yeah.
The manga.
Yeah, it feels like this is what the Pokemon anime would have been if it stuck very close to the game. It very, very tightly follows the plot of the game. And it makes it clear from the very opening, Professor Oak doesn't have this rough, squeaky voice. He sounds like this. He sounds like your regular radio newscaster.
Yeah,
but when it gets to the end, because it's been so faithful.
Nice.
Faithful. I'm gonna say it. Faithful to Red and Blue. At the very end, yeah. At the very end, the main character Red, his Charizard mega evolves, and that I kind of did like a triple take. I was like, what? Like this has been so ingrained in the Gen 1 universe. Like his last thing is to go get Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave. That's his last big thing, and his Charizard mega evolves. I'm like,
that's because Origins is totally part of the other dimension where Mega Evolution happens. We've talked about this before, remember?
we did talk about Origins. We didn't, because
the theory that it's actually two dimensions.
It is
one where, and it's pretty much confirmed
in Omega Ruby. Yeah.
One where the events of X and Y didn't happen, and the meteor didn't, or the device
primal
didn't come down,
reversion thing,
primal reversion and all that didn't happen, and that was the earlier games.
Yep.
So Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is less of a remake; it's in a separate universe.
So to put it in one way, Game Freak pretty much Days of Future past your childhood.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean,
cool. So there's now a timeline which does have Mega Evolution and one which doesn't.
Yep.
But I think that 7. We could be just patenting the logos now for 7 coming a year from now.
That's a good point. It could just be
it could be next
honestly,
November, next fall's game, not this fall's. Next fall's, and this fall we'll get 6.5, which will be announced tomorrow.
That could be the big thing. Is that we could get Z tomorrow, and then Sun and Moon are completely gone under the radar, and then like next year we get Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting. But now that they've leaked, that has been leaked. If that is the truth, and that those games were never meant to see the light of day or the light of moon for at least another year or so, that throws a huge monkey wrench into whatever this direct would have been. Mm-hmm. So it'll be fun to see.
It's funny because it's like that's super plausible, awesome theory. Like it most likely will happen.
Yeah.
But I want them tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I want them to show them tomorrow.
Usually they do file patents pretty late, but like after they've started developing the game.
Yeah.
But usually it's not the day before they announce it.
Yeah.
I mean, did they just file them yesterday?
No,
they were found yesterday.
They were found yesterday.
Yeah.
Were they found or were they filed?
They were filed a while ago.
I think so.
They were filed with that leak that talked about Zelda NX and everything.
Oh, okay. So it's
they were in that
possible.
same batch.
It's very possible.
Yeah, but the Zelda NX thing was only like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm also like, ever since the whole Deadpool thing with the Deadpool footage leak that turned out, like, it's not confirmed, but it's pretty much Ryan Reynolds did it. Like, I'm always on edge. I'm like, companies are doing this. They're doing this to garner hype.
And then a year later, that movie happened.
I'm pretty sure that, like I would not be surprised if they released the patent information on purpose to generate hype for them.
Yeah.
That would be smart.
And that's why, because it's so close to the Direct, I'm totally convinced at this moment that Nintendo released that information.
Nintendo's an unfiltered hype machine.
I mean, I would say a good gen to look at for us is Gen 4. Because in Gen 4 we had the Diamond and Pearl, and then we had the Platinum and the Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Yeah.
So we had the remakes, we had the third version. We did in Gen 3 as well.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it being, and they were usually a year apart. Usually once the perfect game comes out at the end, then next year the new games will come out.
Yeah, because Nintendo's not always the best at making business decisions, but goddamn, can they drum up some hype? Mm-hmm.
I totally agree.
They can bring I remember the best example. Do you remember when they announced Smash 4?
Yeah. Yep.
And not only did they announce it, but that day they also announced the Villager. It was the Wii Fit Trainer Villager and
Actually,
Mega Man, right?
You know when they really announced Smash 4? 5 years ago. When they released when they announced the 3DS, they're like, "Hey, we're making Smash Brothers for this," and I was like, "Sold." And then 5 years later, I'm like, "Finally."
5 years later.
But and it was Smash Bros. And it was like, oh, this looks sick. It's HD Smash Bros. It runs so nice.
Yep.
And they were also like, all right, and then here's Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and
Mega
Mega Man. Holy shit!
Yep.
I was on the verge of tears when they announced Mega Man.
Even with just the way they do things, if Microsoft's preparing an Xbox 2, I guess, they're not going to tell you until they release it. Nintendo's like, hey kid, here, come here, hey kid,
What's happening?
hey kid, we got this phone.
Well,
Check
the
this out.
thing is, I mean,
We're calling it the NX. Go tell your friends.
we know that they're making something because once the PS4 and Xbox One were out, they've already started working on the next ones. If they intend to make them.
I think Nintendo's issue.
They've been working on them, both Microsoft and Sony. The problem is going to be, Nintendo's, because they've been off. They've been off their console releases timeline-wise than the other, like Microsoft and Sony. Because they're off, they're finally at a point where the Wii U, of course, fell off and was weaker than PS4 and Xbox One. And now they're going to put out the NX, which will probably be on par with the PS4. But Sony and Microsoft are going to be pressured at that point to release theirs even faster.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that depends on how NX sales do.
Everybody has to remember that we've had a very, very long gen. The PS3, Xbox 360 gen
that was
very long.
uncharacteristically long.
We could see PS5, that could happen in 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
We could hear about that in 2017, that could happen in 2018.
Yep.
That's normal. We were just abnormal for most of our, focus.
So, this is interesting. So a lot of people think that NX is going to be a console household hybrid. I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, it might be. I just would prefer it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it. I do know that I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of patents for it. It's pretty.
If that's,
people are talking like it's fact.
If that's the case, they always make Pokemon games for their handhelds. Could this be the thing where we finally get like the HD Pokemon Stadium thing? Pokemon Stadium HD. Oh, Cam's licking his lips if you can hear that sultry slurp.
Man, I just want.
But you have your NX handheld. My big scary thing with that is if they make an NX handheld that you had to have with the console and vice versa. A, you're always going to have the handheld to use as a console, and B, the handheld's not going to be very portable because that's also your control. It's basically like if you're carrying an Xbox or a Wii U gamepad in your pocket at all times,
Also,
and that's your 3DS, and that's your Game Boy.
Yeah, if they make the NX handheld, like their new handheld console, they're making the 3DS obsolete. They're pushing it to the background.
At this point, it should.
Unless they make the 3DS the controller.
Well, at this point,
I honestly am okay with that.
Like, Nintendo's in an odd place where it's both overdue now for a handheld and a home console.
Yeah, I think 3D. I don't think they need to upgrade 3DS. I think that's fine for now.
Timeline-wise, this is the point when they would normally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been out since 2011.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's 5 years now.
I think I consider new 3DS to be their next handheld. Honestly.
No, that's not. New 3DS is like the DSi.
Yeah.
All right.
That's more of an apt description.
Yeah. Just like more like Game Boy Color, like DSi.
My one thing that I want out of Nintendo is just for them to go back to more of a game company and less of a gimmick company.
Yeah.
And they've talked about doing that with the NX. They've said that, and I mean things are going to change now that Iwata-sama is dead.
You seem too happy about that.
No, I'm not.
Well,
Sama.
Here's my morbid, awful. I'm not going to speak necessarily bad of the dead, but a lot of people think I'm not necessarily in one of them, but I'm just throwing the spitball out there.
Iwata held him back.
A lot of the more gimmicky decisions of Nintendo might have been his
choice.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
he was definitely responsible for some of them.
Yep. And with this new president being more of a businessman, I think he would know that what would sell more is something more traditional.
Well, hold on. What he might know is what sells more is what Sony and Microsoft are doing, which means Nintendo is going to become a lot more microtransaction.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right.
Here's my one thing that I know that I'm definitely worried about the microtransaction route. The one thing that I am kind of okay with as far as businessmen goes is a guy making business conscious decisions means nostalgia catering.
Yep.
I would hope.
Well,
which means we'll get some nostalgia catering, if anything.
Yep. Oh, I think Nintendo's been giving us a lot of nostalgia catering just in the last year. Yeah, I mean, outside of Pokemon, even with Zelda, Wii U.
But as far as the whole the game thing versus game company versus gimmick company thing goes, there's a reason that everyone still has a GameCube, but not everyone has a Wii or a Wii U.
I would argue a lot of people still have a Wii, just don't use it.
Everybody has their Wii, but they use their GameCubes more.
Yeah.
Or they use the GameCube built into the Wii.
Yeah, they have the Wii to play GameCube games. There's a reason everyone says, if you're because we go to college, obviously, we're here at college, hey, we're gamer.
Yeah.
But if we go out and we're yo, we got a GameCube set up with Super Smash Bros. On it.
Exactly.
Anyone will come and play because everyone had that.
Yep.
And even more anecdotal evidence. I mean, I do collecting, I work with kids. Every kid has a Wii and doesn't use it. Every single kid in the young family has a Wii for reasons. And even when we go out, my friend Sam and I will go out and buy things for people. Every time we go out, there'll be a Wii there. There'll be a Wii. We go to people's houses to pick up a different console, buy a Wii U. There was a Wii playing GameCube games. There's a Wii playing GameCube games.
I'll also, on the same front here, if you look at, anybody even in our age group, even if they quote heavy air quotes here grew out of it. You ask anybody, oh, do you have a DS? Oh yeah, I still have the DS Lite in my closet or something.
Somewhere my Game Boy
In,
is
ten,
back in my closet.
in 5 years from now, if you ask somebody, oh, did you have a 3DS? It's like, no, I just had an iPod.
Yeah.
Like I had my iPhone. So it's also an evolution of like how is Nintendo going to stay relevant with handhelds? Because they do have the handheld monopoly, but because they really don't have any competition anymore.
Well, their competition is quickly becoming smartphones.
Yes, exactly. In dedicated game systems.
And that's why they're starting to move to smartphones.
They are. I mean, they partnered with Dina.
Honestly.
We're gonna get some smartphone games with Nintendo characters. That's
Like
gonna
Miitomo.
happen. That's gonna happen.
We'll probably get ports of classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Guarantee that. Probably a bunch of Pokemon stuff.
Smartphone. We're gonna get smartphone Red and Blue, even though everyone's been playing it through like ROM hacks for
Yeah,
like
really.
10 years.
Yeah. That's another thing that they have to compete with is emulators on phones.
Yeah.
It's not even a competition. Emulators have been doing this forever.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, my phone right here can emulate N64. I have Pokemon Stadium 2 on
That's
this.
great.
So the competition's not going to be.
I think I'm the stutterer here. I like to go like the official route with things. So like I don't like to do like not like I mean yeah there's the morality thing where it's like oh I want to support if they're making Pokemon I want them to know like hey I want more of this money, but at the same time I feel like whenever they do something officially it always feels like the definitive version.
Oh
Does
yeah,
that make
I mean
sense?
that's why I buy physicals. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I recently spent I have a ROM of it, but I recently spent $80 getting Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube
Nice.
because it's the physical.
Yep.
It's the physical. It's
Physical.
real.
Physical.
I can play on my GameCube.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to talk about Fire Emblem.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Stay on Pokemon.
So on Pokemon, shifting, we talked a little bit about the card games. We've talked a lot about the video games.
we should talk more about the card games later.
We
but,
should.
yeah.
I'm not going to talk as much about the anime, but the movies.
The movies.
No, I'm just saying we should.
The movies.
What would you guys
I've
say?
seen all the movies.
I mean, objectively, I guess we could say that 3 is probably the best.
No, everyone says that.
But-
and they're right.
But I'm going to
Which
argue.
one was 3?
Entei.
Entei.
My
Entei, okay.
my favorite is the Mewtwo one,
Which Mewtwo one?
the first one,
Oh, the first
the
one.
only Mewtwo one.
No, there's more.
I know there
There's
is.
actually 3 Mewtwo ones.
There's Mewtwo Returns,
one's an OVA.
and then there's Bastardization and the Legend of Genesect.
Yeah. Now, I've seen all of them. Actually, last night I watched Hoopa. The Hoopa movie is crazy.
Really?
Can I do some spoilers?
I know that there's one part that a lot of people thought was really stupid,
I
where
wanna
it's like
talk about
Hoopa
what
just goes like,
happened.
"I Hoopa, me strong."
Alright, so here
So
you go. Like, here.
Right now, spoilers are happening, so if you don't
Hoopa
want to
movie
be spoiled...
spoilers.
Hoopa Hulks.
Okay, so remember how I talked about Ash being a complete badass in X and Y?
Yeah.
The anime, how he's just a
You
complete
texted me
baller?
this, I
yeah,
remember
I was
getting
texting Josh this because I was so freaked out. So, Hoopa can summon legendaries, right? So Ash he calls Latios, Latias, and Rayquaza, Mega Evolves them, and then fights 7 legendaries at once.
The Latios died.
No, they're like generic ones, right?
I know. I hate when Pokemon does that, when it's like there'll be
Yeah.
Mewtwo's a perfect example of this, where Mewtwo was made to be a
different Mewtwo,
character. Mewtwo was a character. There was one Mewtwo, he was Mewtwo, that was his character, and then
It
you
would
get
have
to...
worked for him, too, to be the one in the Genesect
I know.
because he goes to New York.
I've heard that in Japan, that in the Japanese
I don't
dub,
think
that
so.
was the same
I don't
Mewtwo.
think so. It was female.
That's what I've heard.
But,
well, that's in the American dub.
I
That was
think that
female.
was back in Japanese, too, because I watched Japanese.
Fair enough. Yeah, for the Hoopa movie, did you see it in English or Japanese
I
dub?
watched Subject Pokemon.
Because I heard the dub is like, there's a part where Hoopa comes in his own battle. He's
Hoopa
like,
does
"Me,
that.
Hoopa, strong."
Yeah, he does that because he's not fully intelligent, but he's semi-intelligent. But the thing I love about the Hoopa movie is there was just an enormous battle with great budget.
That's
They
cool.
fought for it was literally Ash was buying time, and for 20 minutes he rode on Latios, Pikachu was riding on Latias, and there was a Rayquaza. He Mega Evolved all of them,
Yeah.
and then fought 7 legendaries at once.
What were the
great.
legendaries?
It was Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Giratina, Dialga, Palkia.
So Gen 4
Yeah,
and 3.
and then there was Hoopa, and I feel like there was another. Hold on. Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, Primal Kyogre, Primal Groudon, Hoopa,
Dragonite.
and there was one more. There was an
Helix.
oddball. Oh, Kyurem was there.
Oh, yeah.
Kyurem was there.
He is the Pokemon that was on Black and White 2's cover,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And he turned into white and black Kyurem. And it was ridiculous because I always talk about Ash being badass in X and Y, but he literally soloed he went 3v7 legendaries and won. like, he kicked their ass for a while. And it was so funny because Hooper was getting so mad that Ash was tooling on him. And, like, using tactics, too. When I say he was commanding them, he was calling out the attacks of
great.
all three of these Mega Dragons.
That's cool.
Like, Ash was a complete baller.
I want to watch that.
He also, like, has anime dodge now, I guess, because Hoopa corners Ash alone with Pikachu.
And he, like, jumps
at one point,
30 feet out of the air.
Hoopa gets all of his rings around Ash and punches him, like, all side punch, and Ash straight dodges that shit.
Crazy.
He's like this. He's, like, standing in the middle and just, like, ducking out of the way and stuff, and dodging, like, supersonic Hoopa hands.
You recommended the X and Y anime
I
to
did,
me, and you're a subs not dubs dude.
That's what's really fun to me.
I have Netflix.
Yeah, that's what's really fun to me about the Pokemon movies is like, if any of those hits had landed, Ash would just straight be dead.
Yeah.
He'd be a dead 10-year-old.
And then the Pokemon tears will bring him back to life. But you're a subs not dub guy. I have Netflix.
Yeah.
So I just watched the first episode of X and Y on Netflix
sorry.
on your recommendation.
Dubbed?
Literally every sentence that Ash says is,
no.
it's like, Pikachu, look, we're in the Kalos region. I can't wait to be a Pokemon master. Hi, watch your step. Sorry, I'm from the Pallet Town in the Kanto region. I'm on a journey to become a Pokemon master. Would you like fries with that? Sure, my name's Ash from Pallet Town in Kanto. I'm on a journey to become a Pokemon master.
Oh, man.
And then there's a part where, like, a Froakie, like, jumps out and saves him. He's like, watch out, Froakie, don't worry, we'll get to the Pokemon Center. My name's Ash, I'm from Pallet Town in Kanto, and I'm on my journey to become a Pokemon master.
So obviously the sub is different. Sub's Ash voice is great.
Oh, it's awful.
And also, sub Ash voice is great.
American sub?
Yeah, no, sub.
Oh, sub. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
sub Ash voice. That doesn't make sense. Japanese Ash voice.
Oh, yeah. Is it the same voice that they've been doing, or did they do a voice change?
He's not like a 10-year-old smoker.
No, well, I mean, he still kind of sounds like that, but like it's more of a hot-blooded way.
I recommend to anybody listening to this, if you have Netflix, just find the first episode of the X and Y anime and just watch it for the cringe of Ash's.
Don't tell them that, then they won't watch XY.
No, I would like to find it.
XY as a series in Japanese is great.
I'll check it out.
Ash is winning. He has proteges practically. He's not the kid anymore. People are looking up to him.
Rick Grimes.
He does strategy. You see him training on screen. He has a girl who's actually into him.
Yep.
And there's some reciprocation there. And he has he's been beating Mega Pokemon.
Everything's coming up, Ash.
Yeah. Everything's coming up, Ash. I think he's going to win this time. I think he's actually going to win.
And then we'll get a new prototype finally.
His team is ridiculous. He has a bunch of if you follow competitive, he has an overused team, and he has
Talonflame?
Yes, he has a Talonflame. Yes, he has a Talonflame, the bravest bird.
Yes.
Bravest ballerina because there's female Talonflame. But
I swear, if they do the whole,
he has listen. He got a Goomy and turned it into a Gudra.
That's cool.
In a few episodes, and then it left, and then he got another dragon.
If they do Pokemon versus the Pokemon Ash versus the Pokemon League and have him win, his lineup needs to be Pikachu. I'm assuming his Greninja, because I'm assuming they've probably
Ash
bonded.
Greninja is as strong as a Mega.
Pikachu, Greninja, Charizard, Squirtle, now a Blastoise with the sunglasses.
Holy shit!
Who am I missing?
Realistically,
I'm trying to
would be cool.
I'm trying to blend everybody in.
You'd want
Sceptile.
Sceptile from Gen 3.
Yep. I want to say Pidgey. I don't want it to be all Gen. Well, I do want it to be all Gen 1, but realistically,
what's going to happen is it's going to be his team now, and Mega Charizard Y could still happen. Charizard could still come back because there's a rival.
You think it's going to be Charizard Y?
Yes, because there's a rival in the series
you told me
that
this.
has Charizard X that is right now fighting Ash. Actually, the episode has not been subbed yet, but he fights Ash Greninja.
It has been subbed or dubbed?
Ash's Greninja came back.
Oh yeah, no, he never left. It turns out my theory was wrong. I thought that Greninja was going to evolve and then lose to a Mega Sceptile that's part of the show and Charizard X, and then he was going to leave Ash because that's what the opening shows, and he was going to come back, their bomb was going to grow, and then he was going to get Ash Greninja. But he was evolved into Greninja and then got Ash Greninja right there.
So how does that work
also,
exactly?
Ash can feel his pain.
Because
they link.
They did that in Pokemon Origins too. How does that work with the Ash Greninja? Is his Mega Evolution just putting on a hat? Or
no, it just
I've seen the design, but
like him. Literally, they sync. And I mean by now, Ash is still standing there.
Does Ash start to get gills and fins and stuff?
No, but you see,
that'd be cool.
Ash almost to me he seems more feral.
Okay.
When he does it, he seems louder, angrier, and first time he does it, he sits back for a second and talks about it. He's like, it felt like I was looking through Greninja's eyes. It was like I was him, and you tell he gets hurt.
He had one of those really long anime.
Greninja gets hit by something, and he goes like,
and then it stops and it zooms on. It's almost as if I can feel all of his pain.
Yeah,
as I sit here watching Greninja,
no, they imply it because he just goes like that. It doesn't say anything. But
most of the time they'll say it.
I will say this: if Ash loses the league, I think that's going to be how. I think that he's going to do very well, and if he does lose, it's going to be because he goes Ash Greninja, and Ash Greninja faints, and it's going to knock him out.
Oh.
And it's going to disqualify him, is what I think will happen.
That'd be some shit, dude.
Yeah. But X and Y is great. Probably, I think it's the best series. X, Y, and Z as well is the best series. Previously, that had been held by Diamond and Pearl's entire series because the Galactic arc was great. But it's really great.
I could never get into Diamond and Pearl and Battle Frontier and everything because, once again, I'm filthy casual,
Yeah,
and that was the first season of the new voice cast, and I liked. I mean, 4Kids as a company apparently was pretty shitty, but I loved that voice cast.
Yeah.
And that's the voice cast that I grew up with. And when Viz took over?
I'm not sure who took over because I watched Sub. So
Okay. When Viz took over, they basically the politics behind this is 4Kids, for whatever reason, didn't have the Pokemon licensing anymore, and Viz had it. And so, but Viz had their own voice actors, and 4Kids had their own voice actors that were, on contract with them. So Viz just said, hey, we're going to recast everybody. See, this is great. Look, this is a new cast of Pokemon. Everybody's like, huh? And Ash goes from like, I'm Ash from Pallet Town to like, I'm like Pikachu.
Yeah, he gets more raspy. Like, whoa.
Pikachu, I'm Ash. This is his voice now. I'm Ash.
Yeah, he sounds like he's been smoking more than he had before.
Yeah.
In the original, but
yeah, it's brutal. Mm-hmm. Although I will give credit to the guy who plays James and the girl who plays Jessie.
James is one of the best characters in
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Let's be clear here.
Actually, if you ever watched the episode where the earlier episode where James gets like sucked into a Bellsprout and starts saying like random crap, that's actually
Leo Burnett and 4Kids of the Devil.
Yup.
He says something and it translates backwards to Leo Burnett and 4Kids are the devil.
Leo Burnett was basically responsible for like making the tobacco industry huge, and then 4Kids, because I guess what happened was 4Kids didn't want to pay them royalties for commercials. Mm-hmm. So like if they said like the new Pokemon Pokédex, watch, looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again, like they wouldn't get paid for that.
Right,
so
right.
4Kids was pissing them off.
But, I mean, it's a great time. Pokemon tournament's coming out. We have all these new leaks, and we're going to know soon. It's not even like, by the time most of you hear this, the answer will be out there. And we could either say that we called some things, or we were wrong about everything.
And we will make, if you guys want, we can make a follow-up, and we can exactly go through what we were right on, we were wrong with.
We will make a follow-up. All right. Pokemon-wise, anything else we want to talk about?
I think we're good. I don't know. You guys?
Pretty much everything else is like stuff that people have known. I mean, like there's upcoming projects like Go and Pokken Tournament, but it's all like that's all out there.
So let's go around and say final predictions. What is tomorrow going to be?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, make your call so we can have it down in
all
audio.
Right. I'm gonna say obviously we're gonna get some kind of reveal. We're gonna get something. We're gonna get something.
I will second. It's going to be a reveal. Something new.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be Moon Sun. I'm gonna say that we're gonna get Sun and Moon. I'm going to say, just because I want it, I'm going to say it's Gen 7.
Okay.
I'm going to say that it's going to be a 5-minute video of a 3DS slowly rising of a pedestal, steam coming out, music swells for a solid 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and then the screen turns on, and the last frame, it just says, Pokemon with a 2, and then snap.
Yo,
that's my prediction.
That'd be the real.
No, I think it's basically going to be X and Y too, like the continuation to X and Y.
No, here's what's going to happen. All right, here's what's really
real talk with Cam.
Because I know everything. So here's what's going to happen. The Direct's going to start. They're going to talk about the history of Pokemon for a while bit.
Oh yeah.
And then the last minute they're going to show a trailer. That trailer is going to be Pokemon Troze 2.
They already did Pokemon Troze 2.
Fuck!
Battle Troze.
Puzzle League 3. Puzzle League 20. All right,
the new mystery dungeon.
Pokemon
Pokemon Ranger 2.
No, but really, I think I'm gonna. You know what? Because I like the theory. Like we haven't had much time to think it over because I saw this theory like an hour ago.
Yep.
But I like the theory. I want to say it's going to be Southern Kalos.
Yep.
Southern France, Gen 6.5.
That does feel like a solid theory.
That's what I'm going to call right now. And I don't think it's going to be Sun.
That's what I was going to ask. Is do you think it's going to be Sun?
Do
Moon?
I think it's going to be Sun Moon? I think it's going to be. You know what? I'm going to go all out because if I'm right, it'll be biblical. I'm going to say it's going to be called Sun Moon with episode Z at the end.
I think it's going to be Sun and Moon as second because of that thought that I had mid-podcast where Magirna Moon and Volcanian Sun. All right, Josh, any final words?
Well, like I said, just please give me Gen 7, let it be good, and let it be Sun Moon.
It'll come.
Cam, final words?
I love Pokemon a lot, you guys. And if anyone's coming to the gamer meeting tonight, which you probably won't hear this before the meeting, but I'm gonna play Pokemon there.
Yeah,
I've got cards.
I've got my cards. I've got my DS.
Actually, no, sorry. One more topic.
Yeah.
Real quick, because we have some time left
Yeah, we got
before we
minutes.
go. One more topic. So, Red, Yellow, Blue coming out on 3DS.
Yep.
We're gonna do something with that.
Yeah.
Yay!
So
I was really
let's
hoping
talk
we
about
would.
that. Let's talk about that. I mean, we haven't had anything set in stone, so let's talk about that.
So-
Gamers going to be doing something. People are going to get this. I know I am. You are.
I'm definitely doing this.
Josh will.
Just for the sake of having it.
So we're going to have something. We're going to definitely have something. Maybe a tournament. Regardless, we're going to be playing it. You know,
Yeah.
We're going to be all playing it there. We're going to be having a good time. Let's try and rekindle some of that
Yeah,
old spirit.
I'm thinking we should wait a couple weeks until everybody's beaten it, and then have a full tournament. Like
Oh, we
you,
will.
you have to. We should do it like when you're going into Victory Road. You have to check everybody's badges to make sure before they can enter into the tournament.
Yeah, no, I'll totally do that. But let's see if we can bring back some of that old spirit.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
am very looking forward to that. I can show off my 3DS with the faceplates. I'll be the one person who has the regular size
Yeah.
new
I love
3DS.
my nice matte plastic 2DS.
So we're going to start putting out announcements out there, and this is going to be the first announcement of this kind, actually. But let's start putting out gamer announcements saying, hey, you guys should buy this game, and we'll shield for Nintendo. And we'll say, you guys should buy this game because we're going to do something with it.
Yep.
That's $9, $10.
Yeah, $10.
We always shield for Nintendo. It's
Right.
Nintendo. I love them.
But this time we're going to tell our club, guys,
We
you should
are-
buy this because something's coming.
Yeah.
All right, and
I'll tell you straight up, it's only $10. We'll do an event with it. It'll be awesome. It's Pokemon. You all like playing Pokemon
Yeah.
anyway.
And one thing I was thinking about doing is, if they have not patched the Mew glitch, I will set up a workshop where I will bring a GameCube and a Game Boy player with Pokemon Red plugged in on a TV and give you a walkthrough of Mew, but you got to trade me something worth it. You got to give me something good.
Yeah,
But-
you can't use the internet because this is
Yep.
1990.
The thing that
so
sucks
you
is that I
use
can't.
the internet.
The thing that sucks is I can't really ask for anything really good
Even though it
because
totally existed then. Nobody went there.
I can't really ask for anything very good because the only way to get Mew is before you hit Cerulean City. So maybe you can give me like a level 100 Jigglypuff by training it for like hours and hours and hours and hours, but against
No,
level
here's what you
2s.
do, right? Get him like a Nidoran or a Mankey.
Admission is one pack of Pokemon cards, and
Oh,
I'll get you a
shit.
Mew.
If it was one pack of Pokemon cards, I'd run that workshop, man. I love Pokemon cards.
What's up?
Generation set.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
I'm
a
so
real quick
looking
one.
forward
Real quick at the end because I know we're running here.
Yep.
But
This will be our
there's going to be another set coming out, kind of breaking the mold here. There's a few sets in Japan that we always miss. They're smaller sets, and they usually compile them into one set. If anyone remember the end of Black and White, where there was Legendary Treasures,
Yep.
that had some of the lower Japanese sets that we missed in there.
Well, the full
Pokemon
art cards.
Generation is going to be something like that. It's banking on nostalgia.
Except
It's
we are
gonna
getting
be-
it.
Yeah, we are getting it, but it's banking on nostalgia. There's going to be cards in there from the Japanese smaller sets, like Pokemon is one of them, which is cute Pokemon shit.
My friend actually already got the whole set collected.
Damn. Have they come out? Oh, I guess they have.
They imported them from Japan. and
Actually,
got the whole
though, I
set.
think that some of them have been released because I think the first box,
I'm
they're
trying-
in collection boxes.
Yeah,
not
I want to find the
packs.
Mew one. If anybody finds the Mew one, hit me up.
Have
'cause
you gotten them yet at
No.
Target?
I
thought
really-
they were out the 17th.
I think they're GameStop exclusive.
Oh,
I really want the Mew pin, the Mew card.
Yeah, and I
I
just
mean,
want the Generations pack.
I really want
so
the pin
that's
card.
Okay.
So with that, we're going to let you guys go. Enjoy your nights. I'm going to try to have this up before the meeting, so if you guys want to listen to it, smooches, we all love you. See you soon.
Pokemon.